Welcome everybody to the modern semi-finals between myself at the bottom of the screen and Jordon Berkley at the top of the screen. The winner of this advances into the grand final. So I'm just going to bring up here, I'm playing the blue-red breach deck. So I've got two win conditions. One's the traditional Snapcaster Lightning Bolt. Burn them out, old-fashioned, because I cast the Serum Visions. The other one is the Through the Breach Emrakul package. Where obviously I try and cheat in an Emrakul with a 5 mana Through the Breach. So you can see my hand, I've got two Blood Moons, I've got no idea what he's playing. So I was pretty happy to see two Blood Moons. Hallowed Fountain, at this stage I'm thinking blue-white control possibly. I'm still thinking blue-white control at this stage. So I'm a bit loath to fire off the Blood Moon turn 3 even though I've got two. You can see I've got the Izzet Charm. I think if this is a control mirror, I've got a long time. I can afford to go to turn 5 and play Izzet Charm, to have Izzet Charm back up. So at this stage I'm happy just to hit land drops and pass. You can see in my upkeep here he fires off a silence. As soon as I see silence I know he's on the taking turns deck. I thought it was a bit odd that he would fire it off at this point, particularly as the turns deck can't do anything with 4 at that particular point. He was playing around Blood Moon, I was guessing, but then I've kind of realised that right now that my Blood Moons are useless because he's going to be dumping a whole heap of islands. It's his islands that count, so I just fire off Electrolyze just for the card draw, find a Cryptic Command. So again, he's going to fire off this Snapcaster to get the flashback silence, so I can't do anything again. At this stage I'm a bit worried because turn 5 he can start going off. So obviously there's nothing I can do here except hold up Cryptic Command and pass the turn. I hit my 5th land drop. I think his deck can't really go off with turn 5 against mine because if he was to play a turns card and get countered, then I can potentially win the game the next turn if he knows what he's up against. So he plays Snap, but he just passes the turn. I was a bit surprised by that, so I bolt because I've got to get him below 15 for Emrakul to work. I Field of Ruin just to get an extra island in case for my Cryptic Command. Get another island anyway. So here I'm thinking I can Blood Moon just to draw out a counter spell. I don't really care if it gets countered, but I can't really afford to. I'm going to hold up Cryptic Command and pass the turn. Next turn I can have Izzet Charm and Cryptic Command ready. He goes back above 15, the magic number. Those two Blood Moons now are starting to look very ordinary sitting in my hand. I know I've got Through the Breach, which is the first part of my combo on its way. So now I'm going to fire off Izzet Charm just to filter it, do a bit of filtering, get rid of a Blood Moon. I probably should have got rid of 2 Blood Moons at this point. Snapcaster in hand, I don't fire it off. So this is where I get concerned. He's fired off a Geiger Draus here, but he only does it once. He doesn't tap down anything else. So this kind of enables me to leave up Cryptic Command. I'm not sure what the point of just tapping down a Steam Vents is. He did tell me off camera that this is the first time he's played the deck. So I don't know if he really understood how Replicate works, because Geiger Draus is one of the worst cards that against me. Again, he just swings in Snapcaster. I'm not gonna block. I'm gonna snap bolt him so that he goes to below 15 again. But actually, I'm gonna fire off Electrolyze here to get the card draw. And again, I think this is a bit of an experience here. He goes Geiger Drowses to tap down my mountain, but in response I can just float the mana so I can Electrolyze. I use 1 to take down a Snapcaster, 1 on him to get him down to 15 again. Fortunately I can only find a land. I'm looking for an Emrakul. He fires off the silence. Again, I'm just going to let him do it. put him to 12. I find a Snapcaster, a second through the breach. So I just hold up enough mana to Cryptic Command again because he's at 5, so he can't actually play a turn and Cryptic and counter me, sorry. I've got him down to 12. I'm really kind of hoping for a second counter spell. In turn, I'm going to fire off Snapcaster and bolt him again. Put him to 9, because at this stage, once this turn deck gets this high in its turns, I kind of realise that it's a race against the clock. I find another Snapcaster. I can actually hold up both Cryptic and Snap plus Is It Charm here to counter. So I got 2 counters available. I have him down to 5. And I have a choice to make here because he's going to pass the turn. What to do with the Snapcaster. I decide I'm going to snap Bolt again, rather than hold the snap for the Is It Charm, which is probably a mistake. So I've got him to 2, so he's dead next turn. I don't find the Emrakul that I want, so I'm just going to Serum Visions here, see what I can find. There's the Emrakul, so I've got him next turn. There's a Remand that I really want. But frustratingly, the Remand is 1 card too deep. So here he goes, Cryptic Command. He's going to tap down my board. At this stage, I'm thinking if I can counter him, and he doesn't have it, I've got the match won. So I play an overly aggressive line, and I get punished with the Remand. So now he's going to tap down my board. I'm at the mercy of his draws. So basically, all I can do here is F9 and hope that he doesn't go off and win. You can see he's at 2. He's got 6 cards in hand, drawing 2 cards a turn. Now this Geiger Drouse, I can kind of understand because this time he replicates it. He's going to tap down all my mana so that I can't counter anything he's going to do. Plays his first Time Walk. So at this stage I think it's game over. Goes up to 5 cards, down to 4. And he hardcast Temporal Mastery, so I know he didn't draw it for the turn. He played the land, so I'm suspecting that was his draw for the turn. So I think he missed there. So he's got 5 cards again. Again, I think he could have played that last turn, so he drew that. He plays an Exhaustion and then passes the turn here, so I suspect he's playing off the top of his deck. So I've got to hope he fluffs twice from Hell in mind. But my board is tapped down, so all I can do is pass the turn and give him another go at it. Draws his 2 cards again. See if he can find a turn in those cards. Plays another land down to 4. Okay, this looks like it's trouble. Apart the Water Veil is going to knock me to 2. It's going to give him another turn and draw 2 more cards here. So I go to 8. He's going to take another turn, draw 2 cards. If he's got another turn here, it's game over. He plays an island, so I guess he drew that for the turn. I don't know the point. Okay, so once he's plays Silence and Remands the Silence, I know he's in big trouble. He's just going for the card draw from Remand. Knocks me down to 2 here. I can't do anything. Did he draw another turn? I'm holding my breath at this stage. I think the match is gone. Again, he Remands a Silence, so that tells me again he misses. So he's fluffed 4 times on that turn. Once I untap, I know it's game over because he's got 4. Particularly when he flashes in Dictator Crucifix and gives me an extra draw. So at this stage I'm safe, I've taken game 1. I choose not to play through the Breach and Emrakul here because I've already got the win on the board and he doesn't know if I'm on that or Kiki Jiki. So I'll keep him guessing. So we go to game 2, I'm up a game. So at this stage I boarded in a whole heap of counter spells. I have 2 counter flux in my sideboard. So I'm hoping to find counter spells. I kept this because I've got one part of my combo. I think I can't afford to muck around. I just have to go for it. So Serum Visions is going to help me find that, but that's a pretty lousy draw. I keep a bolt because I draw an opt. He plays his land and passes the turn. So here I'm going to pass the turn so that I can opt and bolt. I'm pretty safe at the moment because he didn't play a Howling Mine on turn 2. His turn 3 plays a Dictator Crufix, but you can see he played a tap land, so he obviously doesn't have it. That I don't want. Oh, actually I took it. I'm a bit surprised there. I've got a lot of lands. Maybe I was half asleep. So I'm just going to bolt him into turn. I have to be particularly aggressive here. You can see I've got the Cryptic, so at this stage I'm thinking, okay, I can buy myself a turn because he can't go off until turn 5 at the earliest. Bolt him again down to 13, so I'm in that range now. 2 Cryptic commands. At this point I'm looking for Through the Breach to finish this. If I can Through the Breach on his turn, I think 2, 4, 5. So he's at 5 now. Okay, there's the first piece, but again, I don't have to fire it off straight away. If I can find a second Through the Breach and I just win, I believe anyway. So I'm going to fire this off to try and bait out a spell here to see what he's got. He's got 7 cards in hand doing nothing. So he remands it. I think there was kind of a mistake on his part. So I've got remand and I'm thinking, okay, I can just hit one more land and I can protect my Through the Breach with remand. You can see now he's up to 5, goes to 6. Again, I don't think he can fire off a turn spell because it would tap him out, but he tries it anyway. So here what I do is I remand it first to see if he's got a dispel, and then end of turn I'm going to bounce draw and I've got the win from there. So I'll bounce that land just in case he's got a dispel, and I've got a second Through the Breach, so I've got this match well and truly covered. Untap, I just have to Through the Breach now. Emrakul's lethal on board. There was an issue there where he couldn't choose the cards to sacrifice, but this match was over. We exchanged some pleasantries and I advanced to the final to face Emerson Lardy. Yeah, he could, there we go, he's managed to do it now.